in this place at Toastmasters, you can find the kindness because everyone is supporting each other to be a better leader and a better communicator. And as for tonight's meeting, we have our word of the day. It is compassion. Compassion means a sympathy or desire to other people and desire to help another other. So please keep yourself, have the positivity, and let's learn together. So without further ado, now I would like to invite Toastmasters Rahmat as our general evaluator to explain his role and also his team. And the floor is yours, Toastmaster Rahmat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the meeting. Am I clear?
Yes, you are clear.
Okay. So it has been quite a while since I've joined Toastmasters, and I'm happy that everyone is looking good and everything is on time so far. So today I will be the general evaluator. So what is my job as the general evaluator? My job is to evaluate this meeting. Um, and later at the end of this meeting, I will give a general evaluation of how the meeting went and if there's anything that can be improved and should be improved. So I will not be alone in my endeavors. I will be accompanied by a very, very capable team this evening, starting with our grammarian for today, Toastmaster Dewey. Can you please explain a bit about your role?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Mr. GE, Toastmaster Ahmad. Happy morning, everyone.
Happy morning.
Happy morning.
My fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm Dwi. I am your grammarian tonight, and my responsibility is to listen carefully to all speakers, especially to their language usage. I'll take note of any grammatical error used in your speech, but don't be afraid of making mistakes because I will share the correction so you can learn from it. We can learn from it. We'll also capture any remarkable words and thoughts that you use during your speech. Back to you, Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dwi.
Sorry.
No problem. Okay, so after the grammarian, so make sure you guys try to speak very, very correct English, or else you will get a visit from our resident grammarian. We also have the AWOD counter, which is Toastmaster Danang. So please, Toastmaster Danang, can you explain a little bit about your role?
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahmat. My fellow Toastmasters and guests, my name is Danang, and I will be the RWOD counter tonight. So my responsibility is to note words and sounds that are used pause filler by anyone who speaks. Then during the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen to for filler sounds, including like and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I, or this means. Then another thing that I note for today is the word of the day, which is compassion. So please use it as many as you can during your speech. And at the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. So back to you, GE.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Danang. So I think RWOD is one of the one of the coolest parts of the Toastmaster experience because you can get a very tangible and visible indicator of how much you have improved. So make sure to pay attention to Toastmaster Danang's session later at the end of the meeting to see what are your statistics. So we also have the timer and the ballot counter for this evening. Toastmaster Oyun, please explain your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ahmad. So, hello everyone. My name. Oh yeah, my voice is audible. Sorry.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
thank you. Yeah, so tonight I'll be the timer as well as the ballot counter. So, as a timer, I will time each speaker in the prepared speech session as well as the evaluation session. For the prepared speech, every speaker will have 5 to 7 minutes. So, after the speaker has reached 5 minutes, I will change my background into green, and then 6 minutes I will change to be yellow, and then 7 minutes to be red. And it means that you have 30 seconds to wrap up. So please pin my video when the speaker you would like to deliver your speech. And for the evaluators, you will have 2 to 3 minutes to deliver the evaluation. I will change the background into green when you already reach 2 minutes. And then 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will change the background to be yellow, and then 3 minutes to be red. And you have 30 seconds to wrap up. So today, unfortunately, we will have no table topic session, but today we will have a special session called Edu Speech. And for this Edu Speech, I will time for 20 minutes sharing from Toastmaster Kirti, and then 10 minutes for the Q&A. But don't worry, we will try to accommodate all of your questions, so be prepared for that. And for the ballot counter, so I will gather the ballot from all of you. So if the speaker is eligible within the time limitation, then you can vote for that. So please enjoy every prepared speech as well as the evaluation, because I will ask your rights to vote at the end of each session. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Ahmad.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Oyun. So that concludes my introduction of my team that will help me this evening to conduct the evaluation, general evaluations. So I'd like to give control back to our Toastmaster of the meeting, Toastmaster Layala.
All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahmat, for your explanation as a general evaluator. So without further ado, now I would like to start the very first session, which is the prepared speech session. And the first speaker is Toastmaster Garda, and he will be doing another project from his pathway. And now I would like to invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Andika. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Tom. Am I audible?
Yes.
Right. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Now, we don't want that to happen with our next speaker. He is a doctor, and we want to keep him here in the club. Fellow Toastmaster and guests, Toastmaster Garda will deliver his Level 1 Project 2A speech. The purpose of this project is for him to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback from an evaluator, and apply the feedback to his second speech. Toastmaster Garda, heart to listen. Heart to listen, Toastmaster Garda.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Andika, for the introduction, and thank you so much.
Dia punya ini.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So, my fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, as always, I wish to God for each of us will always be privileged with good health, wealth, and happiness. Today, I'm going to tell you what I learned in life. It is about lessons about hope, about strength, and about the light within us that should not be extinguished. So it was an unusual day, a blistering heat of the day in November 2018. And then there was this lady. The look in her eyes was disheartening. This young lady came into the clinic where I was stationed at one of Semarang's community health center. Well, it was just another routine at the health center. On a short notice, I genuinely welcomed her as a usual, regular patient. Tailored in soft pallet fabric, silky and sultry look. around mid-20, I suppose. She came before me with nothing but her brownish purse. Good morning, my name is Dr. Garda, the attending physician for today. Please take a seat. I said it clear as I put a smile on my face. May I get to know your name, miss? Long story short, from the history taking, I got to know her name, Rose. Not a real name for sure. She was 22 years old, a final year student on her bachelor degree. And I always open the dialogue with any patients as follows. Is there anything I can help you with? By seconds, I constantly put my attention to her talking, facial expression, and everything in between. Until I noticed there was a clear reflection of her tears at the corner of her eyes. Statistically speaking, out of 100 patients I encountered at the clinic, 2 of them would have a similar, if not the same, story to tell, a mental health issue. Well, she was not like common people I was used to have in the room. And in light of this situation, she spent nearly half an hour with crying and shedding the burst of her tears. Throughout my journey as a medical practitioner, it has always been quite an effort to build a rapport with people having any psychiatric issue. It took me a couple of times to get into her stream. I'm so sorry, doc. I don't know to whom I should talk about this. I couldn't even share it to my close friends, not even to my parents. Oh, I am deeply sorry to hear it. But if I may ask, do you still live with your parents? Just my mom, she replied anxiously. And it came down to a conclusion of her stories behind the curtain. Turned out, she came from a broken home. Her father left the family for an unknown reason when she was 8. And ever since, she really had an opportunity to share what she had in mind with her mother. So there was not any mother-daughter relationship kind of thing under the roof. And it went by until she got enrolled in her bachelor's degree. At the time she sought for help, she was struggling with her thesis, and she couldn't help with the cause. And her supervisor made it even worse. She had so much burdens and pressure on her shoulder, yet didn't have anyone else to rely on and to lean on. It kept on going like that for months. And that was the main trigger led to her feeling of depression. You see, mental health awareness is still low in our society. People are too afraid of the stigma, of the label that society will entitle us to. And oftentimes we hear people saying, you're such a spoiled person. Just be strong. Everyone else can do that. Spill out from the tongue within seconds, but can strike at someone's heart for days, weeks, or even years, just like what Rose had. She just needed someone else to talk to, someone who could be all ears. Otherwise, she wouldn't have ended up to walking down the aisle with sorrow and despair. You see, many people out there tend to tear others down to make them feel good. But still, not all of them realize that there is a ramification for what they do. That is what we need to emphasize and nurture within our society. To have compassion, to be present for someone else who needs it the most. Because God creates us not to exist individually, but to live hand in hand for the betterment of our community. And that, to me, it leads to the power of giving. Moreover, it blooms to be the power of love. Because as we grow older, we simply wish to be privileged with such wisdom and compassion. Those are the best accessories that we can use. Also a blessing that we might be able to spread. Not because of the prize that we are entitled with, but because kindness is the greatest gift someone could have. At the end of the day, with compassion, love is about giving. And to be understood is a privilege. A privilege for having a heart to listen. So back to you, Toastmasters of the meeting.
Wow, thank you so much, Toastmaster Gara, for a very awesome speech. And I couldn't agree more with your statement that compassion is is something that we really need to give, right? And also, I love the way that you are speaking about this mental health issue, because it is happened right now, especially within this pandemic era. Wow. Again, big applause for Toastmaster Garda. And now we are moving on to our second speaker. The second speaker will be Toastmaster Almi, and she will be doing another project from her pathway, and she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Galvin. So please welcome Toastmaster Galvin. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Layala. So before I start my introduction about Toastmaster Almira's speech today, I would like to remind her to please pin the screen of Toastmaster Uyun as the timer. Okay. So, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will listen to Toastmaster Almi's speech. She will be delivering her level 1 project 2B, which is the second speech in the evaluation and feedback level. So the purpose of this project is for the member, which is Toastmaster Almi, to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback from the first speech, and to apply that feedback in the second speech. And tonight we will hear the reason why that tonight we see a changing look in Toastmasters Almi. So Toastmasters Almi, creating your flow, Toastmasters Almi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Galvin. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait a second, I will pin Toastmaster Uyun. Okay. Wait. Want to increase your well-being and productivity? If so, you might want to cultivate your own habit to reach your flow state, a moment when you're completely absorbed in a challenging but doable task. I believe starting a new normal wasn't easy for everyone. Well, it happened to me too. This year is unexpected, and probably our life has changed in the first 3 months of 2020. If I have learned anything in this year, is that I won't ever be ready for what life throws at me. I will never be adequately prepared. Adjusting work from office to work from home was very tricky for me. I usually woke up at 6 a.m. and then starting my morning ritual until 8 a.m. before walking to the office. And since work from home, I barely woke up at 6 a.m. again. I woke up at 8 a.m. Such a significant difference, right? It was because in my mindset, oh, okay, I just need an hour being ready, going to work, because I don't have to walk to the office again. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay, so for your information, I'm a morning person, so I could wake up without an alarm. And when I woke up late, I was like, oh my God, what happened to me? I felt like I was a different person. But yeah, on the other hand, sometimes I find it difficult to sleep before 12 a.m. And this kind of thing becomes my new routine. Oh yeah, during the office hours too, because I work beside the bed inside my bedroom, I had a temptation because my bed was calling me like, hey, come on over, buddy, rest a while. It was very frustrating because I had a lot of distraction. And then because I watched some series on the Netflix, sometimes the curiosity pop up in my mind during the office hours, and I really want to continue watching the series. Suddenly, one day, I woke up and felt really don't know what to do. I kind less of motivation. I didn't want to work. I felt so lazy. I didn't feel like doing anything. Okay, I thought that maybe I just need some rest and fresh air. But yeah, I couldn't bear the rest too because I'm overwhelmed and overthinking. And then I remember a chapter of book that I read, Ikigai. It talked about the flow. I need to find my flow because when we have overflow, we are focused on a concrete task without any distraction. Oh yeah, I think this is what I'm looking for. And I thought that I have to fix my bad new routine. First thing first, to creating my flow, I have to be aware which part I need to improve. The first one, that I have a bad schedule. And the second one is I lost my motivation. After that, I decided to take on tasks that I have a chance of completing, but that are slightly outside my comfort zone. I was thinking, if the rule completing tasks or achieving purpose is too basic, I will likely get bored. On the other hand, if the task is too difficult, I won't complete it. So I have to find a middle path, something aligned with my abilities, but just a bit of stretch. So yeah, and I decided to have a morning run. To be honest, at first it was very challenging for me to set up my body, woke up at 6 a.m. again and prepared to run. I was just still lazy for that. I grumpily dragged out myself out of my bed and getting ready for the run. And my first run was like 500 meters and only lights for like 15 minutes. Oh my God, I'm so ashamed for that. But it's okay, I believe I could do better next. So my morning run continued every morning. Yeah, but sometimes when I was too exhausted or I had a bit of workload in the morning, I moved the schedule to afternoon run. As long as I maintain and promise myself that I will run every day, I think it works. And guess what? I did some improvement. I reached 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, and my best until this day is 5 kilometer. And this short haircut marks my completion. And I think that short hair is simpler to have a run with, right? Yeah, even though that I don't want to be a professional runner, I assume this thing as a catalyst to my flow. I have to make this a challenge, so I have to attain the longest distance of my run. I accomplished this task and go back to my initial schedule. This is amazing because this is kind of my solution for the problem. Sometimes we need a catalyst for something. Whether we realize it or not, we have opportunities all around us. Just think of simple things around you. It's just around the corner. However, I'm not satisfied enough with this achievement. I wanted to track my progress, not only my habits, but also my work and how my days look like. So I'm preparing a habit tracker to provide proof of my work, a reminder how far I have come. Plus, it can motivate me to get started because I don't want to lose my progress. I call it a journal writing session. So here's my story, creating my own habit. If you're curious about my next journey, the journal writing session, please wait for my next speech. Back to Toastmaster of the meeting, Toastmaster Layala.
Wow, thank you so much, Toastmaster Almi, for your speech. First, let's give a big round of applause for Toastmaster Almi. Wow. And I couldn't agree more with you that this working from home situation, having some distraction for all of us. And again, thanks for sharing your habit on building to another new positivity during this pandemic. And now let's moving on to another prepared speech speaker. Last but not least, we have Toastmasters Melanie with her project from the pathway. And I would like to invite Toastmaster Atma as her evaluator. So please welcome Toastmaster Atma.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster of the meeting, Toastmaster Layala. Happy morning, everyone. Today, Toastmaster Melanie Rivera will be delivering the second speech from the same project. So today she will try to incorporate the feedback given by Toastmaster Galvin last week to her first speech and how she can try and incorporate that feedback into the same speech and make it better. So she will be delivering a 5 to 7 minutes speech, and the title is Live, Learn, Love in Silence. So let's welcome Toastmaster Melanie.
What did you feel when you could not hear any sound from me? I could see in your face what's happening right now. Were you frustrated? Would you like to tell me, hey Melanie, you're still on mute? Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear friends. What I just did is how deaf friends communicate with other people, which is through the sign language. However, I will not be teaching you how to do sign language because like the spoken language, we have different ways on making it. So growing up, I grew up in a neighborhood wherein the adults, they talk to each other and the kids love to play after siesta time, or what we call the afternoon naps. There was this young girl named Ara. She always visited our house and played with my mother and auntie during summer. However, all I could hear were screams, repetitive sounds, and if you were an AWOD counter, you might have given her a red card for the many that she had uttered. By the way, Ara was deaf. I wondered how my mother and even auntie communicated with her. But they always had a good time. They were always laughing as if they understood each other. From then on, I was open to the world of children with special needs, especially for the deaf. The term deaf with small letter D is used to describe or identify anyone who has severe hearing loss or hearing problem. We use D with a capital D in front to refer to people who have been deaf all throughout their lives or since before they started to talk. We don't call them hearing impaired. We don't focus in the negative or the disability. I am always amazed on the difference of their reality with my reality. Being open to the world of deaf taught me lessons that I carry until now. Live, learn, and love. Live in the present. Be present. Every time that my mother and auntie talked with Ara, they always looked at her. They looked at how Ara shared her stories through gestures and hand movements. They also looked around to things that they could use to communicate with her, like the sky, the trees, the color of the clothes. They were present every time Ara went to our house. Even some of my deaf friends that I've met would not start the conversation unless the one that they are talking to is looking at them. They would slightly tap the arms to get his or her attention. But how about us? Are we even present whenever someone is talking to us? Or are you even present right now as I am talking to you? Or are you also doing something else while others are talking? Hey, you're laughing there. Do we still look at their nonverbal language? Or are we just taking these things for granted? live in the present. Second, learn how to communicate with others. I thought that the only way of communication is the language that we have, the spoken language. In the deaf culture, sign language is the official form of communication, which uses hand movements, facial expressions, and the body posture. In my country, in the Philippines, the mostly used languages are American Sign Language, or the ASL, and the Filipino Sign Language, or FSL. Until now, I am enthusiastic to learn at least the basic sign language. For example, beautiful, ugly. So it's really funny to do the sign language. There may be some bumps and dumps in learning the spoken language, but would it hurt much to learn another language that would help us understand others as well? In order to understand others, I believe it is better to learn their language. Third, love has no boundaries. I believe in the saying that love has no boundaries. I have friends who are in a relationship with the deaf. Maybe sometimes we are thinking of the disabilities or differences as hindrances in loving someone, but not in most people that I know, not even with the deaf. Someone close to me is married to a deaf, Ate Alice. I have seen how their love grows and how Kuya JM, who happened to be deaf, gave everything to Ate Alice, a hearing person. And now they are gifted with a kid, with an amazing kid. Live, learn, love. These three things made me realize how wonderful it is to be friends with deaf and to at least be aware of their culture. Live, learn, and love in silence, something that we may not know if we keep ourselves within our culture. Let us keep educating ourselves and others about them and the way of their living. Like them, let us live with the present, learn how to communicate and to understand others, and give love without counting the cost. And I would like to end this with Helen Keller's quote, who was the first deaf-blind person to earn a bachelor's degree. She said, I always thought it would be a blessing if each person could be blind and deaf for a few days during his early adult life. Darkness would make him appreciate sight. Silence would teach him the joys of sound. Thank you. Have a good night. Back to the Toastmaster of the meeting.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Melanie. Let's give her a big round of applause. And
Yay! Congratulations.
Awesome.
Bravo,
Yes.
Ate Melanie. Great.
Maraming salamat po for the beautiful speech.
Salamat, Melanie.
Salamat po. And then, yeah, first of all, I would like to say congrats to Toastmaster Melanie and for sharing to us this sign language to live, to learn, and to love. What an awesome speech. And now we are actually moving on to our second session of the meeting. Well, sometimes for every one of you, for especially for the distinguished guests, for in every meeting, the second session will be table topic session. But this evening is so different because we have the guests. We have Toastmasters Kirti, who will share us the educational speech from her side. First of all, I think prior giving this to Toastmaster Kitty, I would like to see the participants. I think it's almost 51. Awesome. And wow. I think the start of the meeting was around 39 and it is now 51 participants. So now I would like to invite all of you to turn on your camera. So Toastmaster Andika, could you please help me? So we could have a photo session together before we moving on to the educational speech session. Wait a minute, where's Toastmaster Andika? Could you please help me?
Yeah, hold on. I wasn't prepared. Hold on.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much.
All right, then. I see here we have 3 pages, okay?
All right.
3 pages of photo album. So the first pose, 1, 2, 3. All right, hold on. Let me take the second page. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, Tom, I got it.
You got it all?
Yes.
Okay, so now without further ado, I would like to introduce Toastmaster Kirti Sharma. But before that, I would like to give an insight about her. Well, she is a member of Toastmasters since 2015, and she is currently a member at Essential Toastmasters Club. And also, prior to this, she also has achieved the traditional educational program from Toastmasters International. She has already earned ACB, which stands for Advanced Communicator Bronze, and also ALB, Advanced Leadership Bronze. And now in the pathways, she already finished 2 paths in which innovative planning and also presentation mastery. And also she already achieved a lot from Toastmasters, such as first, she had runner-up of District 87 table topics in 2018. Also, she is a certified public speaker and also a certified professional motivator. Wow, awesome. And also, she is a communication lecturer. So we will learn a lot from her from this evening. And for this education speech, she will deliver a speech which called Style Your Speech Effectively. Without further ado, I would like to invite Toastmaster Kirti. Style your speech effectively.
Oh, thank you so much, Toastmasters Laya, for such a beautiful introduction. So before I start, may I please know if I'm audible and if I'm visible?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
All right, thank you so much. Happy morning, everyone.
Happy morning.
Happy morning.
Happy morning.
Happy morning.
Happy morning.
Great, happy morning. Well, I'm very much grateful to be able to get this opportunity to be back in SCBD Toastmasters, because what I remember, the last time I gave Edu speech here was 2016, I think, or 2017. I don't really recall. It was a long time ago. And it's really happy. It's such a happy moment for me to come back here. Well, today, as what it was being introduced previously, I will be sharing regarding how we can actually style our speech. Not only writing or drafting, but more to styling it in our way. Well, before that, I will be sharing my screen. Please give me a moment. Okay, is my screen visible to you all?
Yes.
Yes, all right, great. Okay, well guys, so basically I know I have been introduced beautifully by our Tom today, but I also would like to share some things about myself. Well, basically, yes, I am a certified speaker. I'm a professional motivator, also a Toastmaster for 5.5 years, I would say now, because I started at early 2015 and now it's already in mid 2020. And I basically am an author of 2 books, Hey It's Not the End and Strong in You. And you won't believe it, Hey It's Not the End, I actually promoted first time in SGBD last time. So it was 2017, what I remember. And I'm also a communication lecturer. I also have a podcast, Strong in You. And previously, before Toastmasters, I used to be joining a lot of competitions where I even met Toastmasters Rahmat, your immediate past president, a lot of times in the competitions too. So it's really like a home when I come back here to SGBD. All right. Now, basically, one thing that I would like to share to you all is that, some people used to think that, oh, wow, that, Kirti is so, like, she's so good in communicating and everything. How did she do it and all that? Well, not to brag, actually. The reason that I would like to show this is because I would like to show the real me before I start delivering my speech. Maybe some of you may not really, we won't be really believing this. Before, I used to be so introvert, where if I have to meet people, even by saying, hi, my name is Kirti, this hand will start to shiver. It is that bad. And the worst part, I used to be called as nerd, not in a good way, it was literally in a negative way, because I didn't have friends at all. And I was really, I was really scared to speak to people. But I was really a dreamer, knowing that one day I would do something good in life. These were my achievements at the end after dreaming a lot. I almost failed in grade 5. That was my first ever achievement. I even joined a regional competition when I was in grade 11, and I got first from the last because the only things I said were good morning and thank you. Only 4 words, those iconic words that literally made me have trauma in public speaking. And of course, from all the situations that I had in life, because I never used to love talking to people, I just love sitting down in the corner, writing my own journal, reading books. People actually bully me. And there have been a lot of cases that really made me bullied, and that too was almost 10 years. Now, obviously, that's not an easy thing. But one thing that I would like to say is that life does not always have to be in one place. If we want to achieve it, even though you are an introvert, even though you are an extrovert, even though you feel today you cannot do anything in life, always remember there are some keys to success. Number 1 is to take the first step, which is most important, which I did in 2012 and made me who I am today, and hungry to learn more. So if you say that I am not good in public speaking or public speaking is not really me, look at me. If an introvert like me, who literally had trauma in public speaking, can be a public speaker, why can't you? Well, enough of the motivations. Well, today, as how the topic is all about, I am being requested to share more about how we can actually write a speech. And I totally agree upon this because how much ever we learn as a public speaker, one thing that is very much fundamental is basically how we actually draft our speech. It is not as easy as it starts because a lot of process is there, but hopefully from this edu session, we can learn more about this. Now, in simple way, I have made into 3 things that we need to remember. A good speech, whether it is inside a Toastmaster or outside Toastmaster, we need to make sure it's always having a strong structure. Because the more structured it is, the better the flow it will be. And later, I will show you how you can create a better structure. I also believe that speeches should be really having a strong opening and closing. Because again, a speech is like a hamburger. And the opening and the closing are actually the buns itself. If it is not strong, whatever is in between is just going to move out. So that's why it is very, very important for that. And of course, I believe in KISS. Now, it's not that kiss, not the flying kiss one, but it's more to how we can actually keep it simple and sweet, especially in our body message. Because again, all of us have very limited span of actually listening to people. So the simpler it is, the stronger it will be. Now, I would like to ask you one question. what do you think is the hardest part when you are crafting a speech? Can anyone maybe try to answer this?
Looking for good humor.
Humor.
Preparing for the speech itself.
Preparing for the speech itself, which is
Attention
like
grabber.
attention grabber, yes. What else? Maybe one more?
The kind of speech.
I'm sorry?
The kind of speech that you're going to deliver. If it's informative, humor, or like that.
The kind of speech. Well, yes, thank you so much, guys, for your answers. Well, I agree all of them are really important, but there is this one thing that I would say would be the core of everything, the topic. Do you all agree upon that? Yes?
Yes.
Well, yes, indeed. I can say that, of course, when we are supposed to think about the type of the, I can say the type of the speech, yes, it will take time because we really need to see who are our audience and everything. Even for putting humor, even I actually have a lot of difficulties in there, but I'm still learning. And of course, a lot of things above that. But what is actually most important from what I have learned also is actually the topic. Because if the topic is not clear, anything else will not go well. So that is why this is like the basic, I can say. Now, sometimes people used to ask me, how do we actually choose the right topic? How are we able to actually satisfy the audience from the topic that we have chosen? So I have written 3 things over here that hopefully can be of help. Number 1, I always suggest, especially if you have the freedom, find something that you know. And if you don't have the freedom, let's say somebody has told you to speak about economy or maybe politics, something that you are not really comfortable or familiar of, I suggest you to pick something from those topics and make it your own. So, try to find something like, for example, if you're speaking about economy recession, which is pretty heavy, what you can speak more is just the personal experience related to this. So your story, your topic will be something that you own. And then, of course, you need to see the audience or occasion. Now, the best thing in Toastmasters is we can actually, you can say, experiment a lot of things. So, one day your audience can be your CEOs, one day the audience can be your friend, and many more. But outside, this is something that is pretty vital, because if you are choosing the wrong topic, especially for an audience that has a good knowledge, it would be a blunder. So that's why I would say this is one of the base. And of course, simple is better. Now, the reason is, like, let's say if you're speaking about economic recession, now it is really heavy topic, but how you make it in such a way that it can actually come to the audience will make a lot of difference. So that is why I have always been repeating this, try to make it your own, try to make it personal. Okay. Now, I will be showing you some steps on how you can actually craft your speech better. And the first step is technically brainstorming, or we also call it as mind mapping. Now, some people used to think, especially when I used to teach English and as I lecture, people used to think that, especially my students, they used to think this is time wasting because they have to start thinking and start drawing and everything. They're like, Miss, why can't I just go to the draft? Well, the reason is, our minds are such that if you are being like, if you're standing in front of your laptop empty or maybe a paper empty, nothing will come out. You can try this. Just try to open a piece of paper with no writing. I'm sure your mind will be blank. Now that is psychological actually. And one reason is that sometimes we used to overthink. Like, for example, if you want to speak about a hobby and you have a lot of hobbies with you, you're like, swimming. Yeah, I like swimming, but then Nola, I like this one better. Oh, I like drawing better. Oh, I like this better. Your mind will start going on and you don't even know where to stop. So the reason of you having brainstorming or mind mapping is that you can actually write down everything that comes to your mind. Suddenly pizza comes out, just write down. Don't stop that. Because, from you letting your mind taking all the ideas, you can actually choose what is the best one. So let's say if it is going more to swimming, then you can say swimming is your topic. So this will really help you to choose the best topic and of course with better materials. And then the second one, I would suggest you by using outline. Now, obviously, brainstorming or mind mapping, it's going to be total, you can say, as how the name goes, it's storming. It's going to be like a storm. It's going to be really, you can say, really messy and all that. But from there, what we can actually do is try to pick some things that you like from there, yeah, or something that you feel is suitable for the event, and start creating the outline for it. Now, the outline is pretty simple. You just need to write your title or topic on top, and then below, in Toastmasters especially, we are normally being set that best is going to be 2 or 3 paragraphs for your body, again, based on the timings. And lastly will be conclusion. But the reason conclusion is not written in the outline is because over here, the focus is more on how you will structurize it. So let's say you're speaking about swimming as a hobby. Now, let's say subtopic 1, you are saying about why do you think, why actually swimming became your hobby? What is your trigger over there? And then number 2, you speak about the health reasons from it. And number 3, for example, you can say that you are trying to give the examples of people or maybe the athletes who swim, they actually have better bodybuilding, or you can say they actually have better, any other scientific things related to the swimming itself. And from there, you can start putting the details like examples, facts, your personal stories and everything. And that actually, if you can try this maybe for your next speech, I can assure you that your speech will be much more structured rather than you draft straight away. And of course, after you have everything, is technically the drafting. Now, the drafting here, I believe this is something that, which is very much common in public speaking or even in essay writing, that is IBC, Introduction, Body, and Conclusion. So I will be showing you on how the format can be. All right. So basically, I believe if you have done your icebreaker or in Toastmasters, or some of you who have any experience in terms of public speaking or maybe presentation or even writing, these are the things that might sound common. But what makes it different is how you draft it. So for introduction, I also judge public speaking competitions. And it's really, I would say, it really breaks my heart if, let's say, there are 10 participants and all 10 start with good morning. You can imagine listening to good morning 10 times every time. How will you actually differentiate it? How will you actually remember the person? How will you get the attention? So it is going to be very, very difficult. But one thing I have always find it effective is to start with something triggering. So for example, you can start like this. Do you know that there are 30% of girls actually feeling fatigue every single day? Do you know how hard it is for girls to be able to maintain her immunity, especially during her monthly times? And then you go with your speech. Yeah, so, if you see over there, it is something that you don't start with like, oh, good morning. Today, I would like to speak about how women can actually maintain her immunity, especially when she is if you want to go for science, you can say the science part of you or anything. Or if you want to make it simple, you can even say like this. Or maybe I'll give you a different example. I see you. I see you are looking at me. And I see that you are very much interested in me. Well, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and friends. Today, I would like to speak about how we can actually make a difference in this world, how we can actually be seen by the world, and how we can actually stand out from all the competitions around us. Right? Do you guys feel the difference in there? Yeah? So technically, those are the techniques that you can use. And of course, you can go with the aim of the speech. So before going to the body, you can start talking that, okay, from this speech, or you can say today, I would like to share about this. So this gives the idea for the audience. And then coming to the body. Now, body basically is just the shifting from outline to this part itself, to the drafting. So you can just take whatever from here, I'm sorry, you can come take anything from here and then just directly put it into a paragraph form. And that will really save your time because everything will just come into structure. And the only thing you need to think is just how you write the words. And lastly is the conclusion. Now, conclusion, I always believe in summary. Now, summary does not only mean that you just grab things, but what you can do is try to make it in such a way that it is very beautiful to be heard. And at the same time, the audience can remember what you said in your body. Like, for example, now, ladies and gentlemen, looking at the pandemic that we are having today, I can say that if we stay strong, stay healthy, and stay hygienic, we are going to be safe and we are going to be stronger than before. And basically before in the body message, you were actually dividing those things into the subtopics. So that's how you can actually make it a better summarization. And of course, lastly, don't forget to give something of value. Now, I believe there is no speech that's going to be effective if you don't gift something for the audience. It is technically give and take. The audience give the time to listen to you. Now you should be giving something valuable for them. And one thing I can suggest you is to give some kind of you can say like a strong message or like a strong question, a triggering question or a statement that people can remember. And of course, remember you who have said that. You never know, one day you can even inspire somebody through that. And one most important thing that I would like to share here is by putting you in it. Now, this is something that's going to make your speech unique than any other people. How you can do that? Just in Toastmasters, we know how important personal story is. So I always use personal stories wherever I go. Now, if you ask me, what if we are speaking about like the heavy subjects like economies, politics, or maybe some scientific subjects or anything? You can actually use your personal experiences too. You can put your point of view if you don't have any experience. But the point here is technically how you put yourself in that particular speech. That would be the key to make it much better. And then of course, give your opinions. Now in speech, that is the best thing. You have the freedom to be able to share your opinions to people, to share why you deserve to actually choose this part or choose that part. And you can actually express it in the way of your style. So use this opportunity to actually keep that particular, you can say the impression that, you know what, she's right. Or you know what he said is actually making sense. Use your opinion as that power. And lastly, have your style. Now, I always see that, even for my case, I used to learn from, you can say, public figures. Previously, I used to love Marijuana. That was the first reason why I wanted to become a public speaker. Today, my role model is technically Barack Obama because I really love how he always incorporates his stories and his personal life into his speeches. And that is really inspiring. Now, whoever is your role model, I would always say that it is very important to keep your style. Because if you act like Marijuana, if you act like Barack Obama, like Oprah or anything, it doesn't make you, it makes them. So put your style. You can learn from people like how we are learning right now from Toastmasters, but always have your signature style in you so that people will remember you as you are. Okay. Now, one thing I also would like to add here is how you can actually divide things better. Now, you might have a great story, you might have a great opening, you might have a great closing, but it is going to be very sad if we cannot control the timings, because timings is actually very important, especially if you go for formal events. Now, I have taken an example here, just for Toastmasters. Normally we have 5 to 7. What you can do is try to have an opening that is only for 1 minute, and then closing with the same way, and everything else comes into the body. Now, this will again come based on the situation, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes. But what you can remember is that 10, 10, and 80. Yeah, so 10% opening, 10% closing, and the rest is the body message. So from there, you can actually maintain your time much better. Always remember, don't make it too near to the end time. Always give space of at least 1 to 1.5 minutes, because as you speak, you can actually speak more, especially if you are a public speaker. You tend to share more stories, you tend to share more emotions. So try to give time for it so that you don't really rush behind about all that. And coming to the highlight of this particular thing, I would like to emphasize something on the body, basically on how you can draft your speech, whether it's your body, your opening, or your closing, with a style. Number one, see your audience. Now, when you choose your topic, when you choose your opening, body, and conclusion, it is very important to see your audience. Because how much ever beautiful your speech is, it will not be effective if it doesn't reach the audience or if the audience doesn't understand. So that's why that would be the most important thing you should see before you draft any speech. Number two, talk with your heart. One thing I learned as a public speaker is that your genuinity and your love into this will make a lot of difference. Because through that, your emotions will come out. I recently did my level 5 speech, and you won't believe it, I almost shed my tears. It seems like a normal Toastmaster speech, but as I made it pretty personal, I actually could feel the emotions, and even some of my club members told me the same, that they can actually feel the same emotions I did, even though we are doing virtual right now. So that is actually one of the things I have always learned. The more you use your heart, the better you can connect with the audience. The you factor. Now, again, speeches, there are a lot of topics that's going to be the same. Like, let's say global warming. Thousands of millions of people will actually talk about global warming. But what makes you different? That is actually the you factor. Your story, your opinion, your style, the way you deliver it, that will make a lot of difference. Let it flow. Now, of course, when you want to draft your speech, the reason why we actually have the outlines over here is so that we can let the flow be better. You can actually have the idea that, oh, I will talk about this. This is going to be my example. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. Yeah. Now, not only in that case, but the more you are confident and prepared with your speech, the better the flow is. So it's based on how you actually practice yourself. And the last one, enjoy the moment. Starting from choosing your topic, drafting your speech, and delivering it, enjoy each and every moment. Don't panic. Don't start thinking what people will say about it. It's your speech. You have the right to say it. You have the right to share it. Instead, use this opportunity to make people know about you more. Don't worry about whatever happens, because there are some things you can't control. But what you can control is how you want to be confident wherever it is. And lastly, I would like to close with something that I got from Toastmasters itself. The secret to getting started is, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. Now, this is the time to start. If you are not a Toastmaster, you can actually be a Toastmaster. If you are already a Toastmaster, you can enhance your skills much better. And wherever you are, always remember, you can grow as long as you want to achieve it. And so thank you so much, guys. And back to Tom for the Q&A itself.
Wow, what an awesome and very detailed educational speech. I really learned so much from your speech, especially with your explanation and the detail from the opening, from the introduction, from the body and conclusion. And you specifically mentioned about use personal stories, give your opinions, have your style, and timing suggestions. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Kirti, for sharing and giving an awesome educational speech.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, let's give some big applause again, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. All right, so now, before I'm moving on to the question and answer session, I forgot to mention that we need to cast our vote for our prepared speech speakers. And I would like to ask PM Uyun first. Are all the prepared speech speaker eligible to be voted?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Yala. Yeah, every speaker is eligible to be voted, so you can find the ballot cast on the chat box. Thank you. Back to you.
Okay, sure. So, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, so please cast your vote now. I think I will give around 10 seconds to give it a go for casting their votes. Yes. All right. Okay, I will close the votes. 3, 2, 1. Okay, done. So now we are moving on to this awesome session in which question and answer, and I've already got some of our great questions from fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Hold on a second, I will try to say it first. Wait a minute. Okay, so we got the first question is from Toastmaster Andika. So, Toastmaster Kirti, how do we dramatize our story to make it more engaging?
Okay, well, that's a great question. How we can actually dramatize our story? You can actually use more emotions over here. And of course, the choice of words will make a lot of difference. Like, for example, let's say you would like to dramatize a story that, let's say, okay, maybe you can give me an example about what type of story would you like to dramatize here? From Toastmasters Andika, right?
Maybe when we're losing bet.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat again?
When we're losing bet.
Losing bet. Yes. Okay, so for example, you can do it like this. I was very much eager to get that $1 million. I was very much having this thought that, you know what, I'm going to be rich from this bet. But boom, I lost. Now, I used to feel that my luck is never there. But then, you know what? That's life. The more we actually get into those troubles, the more we learn a lesson. So why fear when we can actually grow from it? So I hope that I answer your question for this. Yes, all right. Thank you so much. Well, basically, it's more to how you deliver it, how you choose the words. Sometimes simple is, and of course, try to avoid descriptive, because the more you describe things a lot, the more that would be my answer for that. Yes,
All right. Okay, thank you so much for the explanation. And we got the second questions. How do we exaggerate our story to make it more engaging? This question is from Toastmaster Dewey.
Okay, well, I think it's almost the same with the previous question.
Yep.
And for this case, I would like to add more, like if you would like to exaggerate something, it's going to be based on the situation. Because sometimes, you know, if you are, I don't know if you guys remember, before we used to have tall tales. I don't know, maybe some of you might remember this. It was 2 years or something, where you need to exaggerate something. Like, for example, you know, you have a cucumber. You can say the cucumber is as green, even greener than any other grasses in the world that we have seen. You know, that would be too much exaggeration in storytelling. But if you would like to speak about the exaggeration in the speech, like a normal speech, it would be like the previous one. How you actually use emotions, how you use the right words, and how you use pauses. That would also be the exaggerating point of view, because that will create that, you can say, the adrenaline coming from you and the audience itself. So I hope that answers Toastmasters Dewey.
Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kirti.
You're most welcome.
All right, thank you. And moving on to another question. Well, we have a very good question from our guest from Westry. If the audience don't show much attention in the middle of our speaking, what should we do to keep our speech on track and focus?
I see. Well, this is actually one of the challenges, especially right now in online meeting. Before that, maybe I would like to ask, would you like to know more on offline or online version for this? Because it's kind of different, actually.
I think since the guests are already inquire, maybe you could show us both.
Good. All right. Great.
Yep.
Okay. If it is an offline, actually, the best way is to give a shocking session. I normally call it like a shock therapy. So, for example, let's say if you see, let's say there is Toastmasters Layala. I hope I didn't say it wrongly. Let's say Toastmasters Layala is not focusing. He's playing with his phone, and we are actually face to face. I will actually speak, like, for example. So sometimes it happens that, life gives us lemons and we don't know what to do with this. So what I can do is I can just prick the lemon from Toastmasters Layala. I think I can see you're holding a lemon, right? Sorry, that's not a lemon, that's a phone. Okay, no big deal. Okay, so basically what I can do is, let's try. Let's pick a lemon, try to squeeze it, taste it, and then you can see how beautiful the colors are. And that is life all about. So you can try to engage in a way by calling the person's name, for example, of course, if you are pretty friendly, or if no, you can even do this. It's a long pause. Sometimes when you are having a long pause, people actually wonder what happened, and that would be one way to be able to grab the audience. Yeah, and of course, you can try to have something dramatic, like for example, after a long pause, I can say, living a life like this is such a dream come true. Try to make it more dramatic so that it seems as if it is part of the speech. And then if it is an online version, I always use questions. So of course, this also works in my class whenever I lecture. So I just throw questions to random people. So they will feel that, oh, I might be next. I might be the one being asked later. So in that case, you can focus much better. I hope that answers.
Wow. Thank you so much, TM. Well, actually, this question from TM Toastmaster Garda is related to giving questions. Sometimes when we deliver our speech, we lost ourselves in our words. What would be the best way you would give to get back to the line without ruining the rest of the speech, or even making losing their attention?
Okay, so this is coming more to losing our words, where I can say like mind blank, yeah? Well, in this case, the reason why we actually have like step by step of making the draft speech, so that we can actually remember and we can have it in a better track. Now, I would highly suggest you all to never ever memorize your speech, because the reason I actually said good morning and thank you before is because I memorized everything. So one of the things that we can do is actually to understand your speeches and have this like a cue card. You just remember the point form, or you can just remember your outline. So if suddenly you are out of the words, at least what happens over there is you can try to incorporate something. And that is going to be still related, because you will not remember your speech, but you will remember your outline. So for example, let's say if you are speaking about love, and suddenly you forgot about what you're going to say, you can say like you can maybe start you can say throwing questions. Hey, anyone of you have been in love before? Or maybe you are sharing about, let's say, love, or maybe heartbreaking is really scary. You can say, you know what, I think I wouldn't speak much. Let me ask you, anyone of you have ever got a heartbreaking moment? Maybe you can share a bit. So by changing it into a question, you can actually think what to do next. Or maybe you can, if you feel you have a story that pops up, you can even use stories. So don't get stuck into the script, get into your outline. I hope it answers.
Well, thank you for this great explanation. And I think I have another good question. Um, Especially you mentioned about that you at the first place that you are an introvert, right? And so from Toastmaster Mulyadin, he asked that having an experience or doing experiment of what we explain in our speech is so hard if we don't have any chance to it. How to be a great speaker without both of those?
Mm. Okay, sorry, I didn't get actually the question. How to get the trance, I mean?
Sorry, wait a minute, I will read it again. Well, having any experience or doing experiment of what we explain in our speech is so hard if you don't have any chance to it. How to be a great speaker without both of those?
I see.
Yep.
Well, basically, in this case, if I didn't get it wrong, well, over here is how we can actually be a great speaker, even though we might not have a good experience about it, right? The chance or possibly the space of it. Well, the one thing actually, if I can come back to my previous time, how I entered the public speaking world, I was forced. You won't believe it. I was really forced. So just because I am pretty fluent in English before when I was in college, so I was just being put into the public speaking competition thinking it's the same. Now that was crazy. Now, one thing I did that moment was, of course, it's going to be a bit hard, especially if you have trauma or you don't have any experience or anything. But one thing I can take it from there is to learn from people. So the more you get exposed to learning, the better it will be. Now, this is not a 1-2 day thing. It really takes a lot of time, a lot of chances, a lot of experiences to be able to get into where you are. So if you don't, like for example, if you are still confused how to become a speaker, try to learn. Try to get a mentor, try to actually go to clubs, try to we can say watch videos so that you can get the grip of it. And of course, try performing, because by performing, you will get the experience. I hope it answers.
Okay, I think there are a lot of questions from fellow Toastmasters and also distinguished guests. I think since we only have around 2 minutes left, I think I will pick another question from. Wait a second. I think okay. I will pick this one from Toastmaster Golfin. How to incorporate dramatization in the presentation, as it might a bit awkward, or should we just incorporate a bit humor in the presentation, or maybe even do something else?
I see. So this is more to the presentation point of view, right? Not speech, yes? I believe. Okay. Well, basically, if you are speaking about presentation, it's actually much better. You can even use visual aids. So how you can actually get into the audience attention, because if you're doing speaking, mostly it's going to be your body language. It's going to be your facial expressions, your pauses or your words. But in presentation, you can even use pictures. And that is going to carry a lot of, you can say, a lot of power in this case. So for example, if you would like to speak about something about, let's say, the transition from the normal into the new normal. Yeah, you can have some, you can say some cute infographics, or you can have some kind of, you can say some kind of a visual that can at least make people smile. So in that case, it is going to maintain the audience at engagement. You don't have to really force humor, because I know that not everyone are actually good in humor, and it is not recommended if you are not comfortable. So try to find something comfortable from maybe pictures, from your personal experience, something funny about your life, or even just try to make people smile. That itself would actually be counted as an effective presentation. Hope it answers.
Oh, thank you so much for another insightful explanation to all of us. And I think there are a lot of questions coming in, but I am so sorry because of the time. I could not pick another questions. But as for the closing part, I would like to give it to you again. Maybe you could promote, since you are having a podcast and also you are an initiator for Speak Up Jakarta. Is it on Instagram? So maybe our fellow Toastmasters and also distinguished guests can follow you on Instagram or either on Spotify. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters Layala. Well,
Yep.
basically, I do have 3 Instagram accounts. My personal Instagram account is kirtisharma_speaks. Before, I used to have something else, but I just changed it. So, hopefully it would be easier to find me. And if you guys have any questions, maybe just now it was not answered yet, please feel free to contact me and I will answer you as much as I can. And yes, I also have my personal podcast that is at Strong in You. Okay, this is technically one of the titles of my books that I have created to the podcast, where I share more about life inspirations, life stories. Mostly, basically everything is based on personal experiences, whether it's mine or even my guest speakers. And I also have a small venture with one of my friends. She was also a Toastmaster, Kilan Umara. Maybe you might know her. She was from JDC, but now she is not as active yet. And we both have a platform for public speaking that is Speak Up Jakarta. Later, I will share all the Instagram accounts in the chat. So hopefully that we can follow each other, keep in touch. And if you have anything, feel free to ask. Thank you so much for the opportunity and good luck, guys. Back
Thank
to
you so much. Thank you so much,
so
PM
much
Kirti.
for your sharing.
All right. Now, so we are now moving on to our last part of the meeting, in which evaluation session. And without further ado, I would like to invite Toastmaster Andika, who will be expressing his evaluation for the Toastmaster Garda.
Oh, sorry. So maybe we can give the control to Toastmaster Ahmad.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
So now we will begin with the evaluations, right?
Yes.
Yes. So today we have a lot of really good speakers, and again with the Toastmasters tradition, we evaluate the speakers so that we all can learn from them and they can also learn from very experienced speakers that have come before them. So our first evaluation for today is actually a bit different than the usual evaluations. So today's first evaluation will be done by Toastmaster Andika. However, because of his project, he will actually be evaluated by Toastmaster Sabrina first. So maybe I would like to call Toastmaster Sabrina to explain about what Toastmaster Andika's project is about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ahmed. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Sabrina, and today I will evaluate Toastmaster Andika. So basically, in Pathways Level 1.2, in which there is a evaluation and feedback project, the third part is for a member to learn how to evaluate others. And this is where I'm going to evaluate Toastmaster Andika. And the objective is to learn how to evaluate your peers. So without further ado, and the time is still the same, 2 until 3 minutes. So without further ado, let me call Toastmaster Andika, Toastmaster Andika.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Bill Gates, the second richest person in the planet, said, "We all need people who will give us feedback because that's how we improve." Therefore, I'm here this evening to support Toastmaster Garda to improve himself. Fellow Toastmaster, dear guests, and Toastmaster Garda, I noticed that there are several things that Toastmaster Garda excelled from his speech. First, he used storytelling. storytelling really works well to engage the audience. Everyone likes to hear a story. Happy story, sad story, scary story, you name it. Second, Toastmaster Garda is very articulate. This is one of his forte. By being articulate, the audience can hear him well and follow what he said. A third, he used proper pause and intonation. He didn't rush the speech, so it was very comfortable to listen to his speech. Besides those, Toastmaster Garda, you may want to work on some areas. First, the vocal variety. When you imitated conversation between two people, you could have had different tones for each character. It would help us, the audience, to distinguish between the first and the second person. It could also help you to express the emotion related to the story. For example, the part when you showed your compassion to the patient. Then you can also improve your body gesture or hand gesture. Because I noticed that you actually move your hands while doing your speech, because waving our hands sometimes makes it more comfortable. However, I couldn't see it clearly on the camera, so you might want to push the camera further from you. For the next speech, I would like to challenge you to have a more dramatic opening. Dramatic opening, storytelling, awesome closing, that's your formula for success. It will create much more engagement. So Toastmaster Garda, congratulations on completing your project. Remember, no matter how good your content is and how well you deliver it, the impact of your speech matters the most. Back to you, GE.
Sorry, thank you very much, Toastmaster Andika. Next, we will have the evaluator for Toastmaster Almira, which is Toastmaster Galvin.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Rahmat. So, good morning, happy morning, fellow Toastmasters and ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I will evaluate Toastmaster Almira's speech. But before evaluating, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Almira for completing her project in level 1 project 2B, which is the second speech. Congratulations. And
Hey, congratulations.
yes. And I would like to start my evaluation with describing all of the great points that you have done in your speech, which I will encompass it in one simple word: structure. The structure of your speech is already very great. You start your speech with the title, Creating Your Flow, which is simple and short, and it only contains 4 syllables, which makes it very, very memorable, Creating Your Flow. And then you start the speech with your personal story, which in any case, personal story, just like what Toastmaster Andika has mentioned, it is very engaging because it is relatable to all of us. And then after you start with personal story, you get to the more relatable part to the title, which is how you create your own flow in your daily activities. And then in the 2 to 3 minutes into the speech, whereby sometimes the audience lose their attention to you, you create a little bit of humor, which is just great to recapture the attention of the audience. And then you end your speech with restating the main message of your title in the conclusion process of your speech. So it is a great structure in your speech, and I congratulate you for that. But just like in anything, in any great thing, there can still be things that can be further improved. So the first point is that sometimes you look not into the camera. I think there is something that maybe grab your attention. My suggestion is that just to simply get rid of everything that can grab your attention from away from the camera. So please always look to the camera. And then the second one is that I think your vocal variety can be further improved. Just like what I mentioned, that you have incorporate a humor in your speech, whereby maybe some people do not really get it because it does not have a unique inflection of tone. Maybe when you say the humor, maybe you can get a spatial tone in the way you say it. And then maybe you can also add some more facial expression and also do more hand gestures in this screen here. You can always do something with your hands. And to elaborate, no, to mitigate that, I think you can always stand up in delivering your speech, so that you have more space to do your gestures, and then I believe your vocal variety will also be positively affected. But overall, you have delivered a very great speech, and I am looking forward to your next speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Ahmad.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Galvin. Next, we will have the evaluation for Toastmaster Melanie's speech, which will be done by Toastmaster Atma.
Okay, thank you, GE. Toastmaster Melanie, it's really a nice opportunity for me to evaluate you. I think you are a very strong speaker. If I could compare to what Kirti already said in her education session, for me, your speech is like a burger with an extra cheese. So you already know how to structure a speech. Your opening is very good. You open it with a very, with hand gestures. You don't say anything. You invite everyone's attention coming to you and seeing the screen. And I really like the message. You stick with 3 messages. You already mentioned it in your title: live, learn, and love. And then you rely it, you put your personal stories into it, and also you put examples into it. I really like how you structure your speech. And I think you already tick most of the boxes in terms of delivery, your pace, your facial expression, your hand gestures. I think you already did everything good, and you seem like a very prepared and strong speaker. I think you have 2 ways that you can do to improve this speech next time. First of all, the timing. I noticed that you end your speech at 7 minutes 15, and I definitely agree with the message Kirti said, always prepare for less than 10 minutes. Not 10, sorry, less than 7 minutes, because you might never know that sometimes you might forget 1 or 2 lines or putting more examples than you should. So I think if you can squeeze, so if you want to add extra cheese in your burger, I think you have to reduce the size of your of the meat. So probably in the body you can, use less example or just putting 1, and then you can have a very perfect burger. The second is the conclusion. So you have a quite strong opening, your body is very good. What I like the most of the body is your repetition. So many people actually forget to repeat their main message, so that people, forget what they actually already said previously. But your repetition is what the extra cheese in your speech. So it's already good, but if you can combine it with a stronger conclusion, I think it would be better. Your conclusion is already strong. You close it with a quote, but I think you can play more in that by using more vocal variety and emphasize. Your conclusion is the last thing that you can leave to the audience, and it should be memorable. So if there should be sparkle in those burger, put it on the conclusion. So I think that's all. You already have the talent, not the talent, the skills of a great speaker. But if you can do it better next time, definitely will retake and also rebuy this burger from you. That's all. Back to the GE.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atma.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Atma. So, last but not least, we have the evaluation, the special evaluation by Toastmaster Sabrina for who will evaluate Toastmaster Andika's evaluation. So Toastmaster Sabrina,
Thank
please.
you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thirsty. Bill Gates says that an evaluation is important. Well, Toastmaster Andika, Toastmaster Sabrina says that your evaluation is impressive. So give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Andika for the outstanding evaluation. Wow, nice. Toastmaster Andika, however, this time let's not focus on Bill Gates or me, but let's focus on you. Your evaluation was impressive. And how do I say that? Because first thing first, an evaluation is still a speech after all. And your evaluation had an opening. You talk about Bill Gates before you open your evaluation. And then you also had these bodies consisting of strengths, room for improvements, and as a challenge for the speaker. Nicely done, I think. And there was a closing as well. And second thing, I also really like your self-control. This is personally something difficult for me, but you had that. You managed to control your pace, your articulation, your vocabulary. That was very well, nice put. So that's nice. Those are the two things that I like from your evaluation. But then Toastmaster Andika, if I might add, there are things that I would like to see more of from you in the future. First thing first, I noticed that you had some examples in the room for improvements which are required. But then again, how about you also add the examples on the strength that you mentioned for the speakers? I noticed on your first point, which is the story, personal story, you had this explanation how important or essential it is to have a personal story, to have a storytelling. But then what was the part of the story that was impressive from the speaker? Tell us about it. Tell us which part. Give us more examples, not only on the rooms for improvements. That's the first. And then second thing, I do believe that people are forgetful. This is something that distinguished Toastmaster Atma also mentioned. She emphasized on the repetition, and I do agree because I myself am forgetful as well. So my humble suggestion for you is to again summarize your points, the strengths and the room for improvements for your speaker at the end of your evaluation. Help them to remember. Help the audience to remember again. And last but not least, you talk about a dramatic effect, I think, yeah, which involves a vocal variety. Well, even though you mentioned that, I didn't see the example of how dramatic it was, your facial expression or your vocal variety. And if I may add, I think it will be so much better and interesting if you add that as an example. Though it is an evaluation, it's no worries. Just add some dramatic events. Just collaborate or involve some vocal variety. But then at the end of the day, your evaluation was impressive. Keep up the good work. Keep up the speech structure and self-control, and improve more on the examples and summary. Thank you. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sabrina.
Thank you very much. I would like to ask for the timer report, please.
Thank you, GE. So every evaluator is eligible to be voted. So I will share the link shortly. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Wow, everyone is eligible. So make sure you guys fill in the votes. Okay, while waiting for the vote to finish, let's start with the general evaluation session. I would first like to call my grammarian, Toastmaster Dwi, to deliver her report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ahmad. I will share my screen. Is everyone can see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess for tonight's meeting, I can really find a kind of grammatical error, but I catch one of them. I'm definitely will rebuy if I'm not mistaken, but it should be I definitely will. Also, I work so hard to choose beautiful phrases as, I don't know, everyone is successfully make us get goosebumps. That's my grammatical error too. First of all, here from Toastmaster Garda. Oftentimes people just need someone else who could be all ears. And next, still from Toastmaster Garda. Love is about giving, and to be understood is a privilege. A privilege for having a heart to listen. Next stop is from Toastmaster Almi. Sometimes we need a catalyst for something, whether we realize it or not. We have opportunities all around us. Just think of simple things around you. It's just around the corner. Here's the, the last two from Toastmaster Melanie. I don't know. It's really hard to choose. I feel like I want to put it all to my list, but here's what I got. Live, learn, and love in silence, something that we may not know if we keep ourselves with our own culture. And the last one, let us live with the present, learn how to communicate and to understand others, and give love without counting the cost. Even reading it maybe sparks that goosebump thing. Sorry, that's what I got. Give the control back to Toastmaster Rahmat.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dwi. It was a very, very thorough and in-depth grammarian report. Thank you very much. And now I would like to call our AWOD counter, Toastmaster Danang, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahmat. Am I audible, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I would like to share my screen. So, wait a minute. So, in general, every speaker delivered the speeches well. So, I like to categorize into three categories. So there are green, which shows the how many times you use the filler words, less than 5 times. And for the yellow one, it means 5 times to use the filler words, and so on. Then for the red indicator shows that there are more than 5 times you use the filler words and the repeated words and the word of the day. So that's all for my report. I think I can go back to Toastmaster Ahmad.
Okay, thank you very much, Toastmaster Danang, for the report. I like how you use the Excel. It gives a lot of visualizations for people, and yeah, I think we could keep that Excel so that people in the future can see how much they got today and how much they got next week. Because I believe that AWOD is a very useful tool to see our progress. So it's time for the general evaluator to give the general report of this evening. First of all, I think we started on time at 7:04, which is very nice. I also like how the members interacted with the guests before the meeting starts. That way, it's not an awkward silence and stuff like that. So good job for all of the members uh, who communicated with the audience, with the guests, and made them a part of this meeting. That is what makes Toastmasters Toastmasters, and that's what makes SCBD Toastmasters SCBD Toastmasters. Regarding our current runtime, I think we are on our way to be relatively on time for closing. It's 8:57, so 3 more minutes. It might be a little bit over time, but I think it's in very, very safe territory. So again, good job for all of the role takers for today for making such a wonderful and on-time meeting. I also would like to comment on the quality of speakers. For today, we have a very wide selection of speakers with a wide selection of topics, and all of them are very, very skilled and very, very interesting. And also, thank you very much to our guest speaker, Toastmaster Kirti. That edu session was very informational, and I think everyone, regardless of their level of experience in public speaking, got something out of your lesson. So I think that's all for the general evaluation. I would like to give control back to the Toastmaster of the meeting.
All right, thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Rahmat, for having your explanation and evaluation for tonight's meeting. I think I don't have any much to say because it is already covered by Toastmaster Rahmat. But again, I have to say that our prepared speakers, starting from Toastmaster Garda, Toastmaster Almi, and also Toastmaster Melanie, they all had really great job on that, and also a very insightful educational speech session from Toastmaster Kirti. And yes, that is all from me, and I would like to give the control to Toastmaster Uyun for giving the announcement, the whole event. Back to you, Toastmaster Uyun. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Yala. So today it will be very special because I am not the one who will give the certificate for the best prepared speaker as well as the best evaluator. Wait, can I ask help from Toastmaster Galvin as the president to give the certificate?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uyun. So now we are entering the most anticipated session, which is the Hall of Fame. I will share my screen. Aha. But before we go to the best speakers, of course, in the Hall of Fame, there is one very great speaker, which is from the Edu Speech, Toastmaster Kirti Sharma. Congratulations and thank you very much, Toastmaster Kirti Sharma, for delivering an educational speech in our meeting tonight.
Thank you. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we go to the best prepared speech speaker. Unmute your mic and please do a drum roll with me. The best prepared speech speaker goes to Toastmaster Melanie.
Yay! Congratulations.
Congratulations, Toastmaster
Melanie.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Very great.
Very great indeed.
Amazing. Fantastic. All
Very
the
great
words
indeed,
for
Toastmaster
you.
Melody. Now, we go to the best evaluator, which is very, very tight. Please do a drum roll with me.
Yay!
The best evaluators are Toastmaster Atma and Toastmaster
Ding, ding,
Sabrina.
ding. Way.
Yay!
Congratulations for the
Oh, you
joint
have
best
same score,
evaluator.
right?
Congratulations for the joint best evaluators tonight, Toastmaster Atma and Toastmaster Sabrina. Sorry for the photo. I will take a better one when we post it in our Instagram account. So I think that's all from me. Back to you, Toastmaster Layala.
No, the control is on you.
Oh, now
Mr.
still
Press.
okay. Okay,
It's on you. It's already on you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Uyun and Toastmaster Layala. So we are now at the end of the meeting. Thank you all for coming to our meeting tonight. This is a very, very interesting meeting with all three prepared speakers and also the educational speech from Toastmaster Kirti Sharma. Really, really educational for all of us. And before I close this meeting, I would like to ask for some opinions from our first-time guest. I see who should I ask? Yeah, I think I would like to ask guest Nazir. Hi Nazir, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, am I visible and audible?
Yes, you are. Can you please share an opinion about our meeting tonight, please?
Okay, so this is my first time joining a Toastmaster session, and actually I learned a lot of experience because there's a special guest as well tonight, and I actually take some notes because I thought that the presentation would not be able or would not be downloadable, but turns out it is downloadable in the chat room, and I'm glad that it is. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, guest Nazir. And I would like to ask for some other guests. I think I would like to ask guest Anselma. Hi, Anselma. Can you please unmute yourself? Hello. And in 3, 2, 1, no response. Okay. I think I will go to the next guest. I would like to ask Arum. Hi, Arum. Can you please unmute yourself? What? Arum. And okay, I think I can go to the next guest. I think I would like to ask Heidi. Hi, Heidi.
It's me, Selma. Okay. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sure, Anselma, please.
Okay, this is same with other guests. I'm the first time. This is first time for me joining this Toastmaster meetings, and thank you for every sharings from all of the speakers. And I'm so happy tonight because of education I had tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Anselma. Hope you can also join our next meeting, which is next week at the same time.
Okay, noted.
Of course. And I would like to ask, I think the last guest, let me just ask, I think I would like to ask Heidi. Hi, Heidi. Heidi.
Hi.
Hi, can you please maybe share your, turn on your video and share your opinion about our meeting tonight.
Okay. So I enjoyed it so far. This is my second time coming to SCBD Toastmaster Club, and tonight's session is very educative, and all the prepared speech are very good for me. I learned a lot, and so thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. And I think, okay, so for all the guests here, I'm very sorry that you maybe cannot deliver speech tonight, but then no worries. Next week, we will have a joint meeting whereby there will also an educational speech, but there will also be a very, very long table topic session. So every guest are very, very likely to participate in that table topic session. It is your chance to deliver a speech in Toastmaster meeting. Okay, and I would like to ask for visiting Toastmasters to maybe if you have some announcement from your club that you would like to announce here. I think we have some visiting Toastmasters. Maybe we can start with Toastmaster Sabrina from UI Toastmasters Club, one of our evaluators tonight. Please, Toastmaster Sabrina.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gavin. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I would like to invite you all to come to Universitas Indonesia Toastmasters Club's meeting, which is tomorrow at 10 a.m. GMT +7. So make sure you follow our Instagram at UI Toastmasters. I will also drop by the link here on chat box. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sabrina. And I would like to ask Toastmaster Dini. Hi, Toastmaster Dini.
Hi, everyone. So this is my first time visiting SCBD Toastmasters Club meeting. And then it's nice to see you all. And I would like to invite you to Malang Toastmasters Club meeting next 2 weeks on September 17th. So I hope that we can see you all there. And back to you, Toastmasters Calvin.
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Dini from Malang Toastmasters Club.
Yes.
And I would like to ask Toastmaster Atma, I believe from Huntsman, right?
Yes.
Yes, please,
Okay.
if you would like to announce.
Thank you. So tomorrow we will be having another meeting of Huntsman Indonesia Toastmasters Club. It's a joint meeting with excellence. So if you have free time on 3:30 until 5 p.m. tomorrow, please join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atma. I also would like to ask Toastmaster Elios, which I believe the Emperor of Empire Toastmaster Club, right? Please unmute yourself and announce something if you would like.
I'm not the emperor, first of all. But if you want to call us empire, yeah, we are empire. Feel free to come every first and third of the week, of the month. And empire team mostly our business, and our next education will be from British Mike Nicholson about how to prepare a speech. Be there, everyone. Go invited. Back to you, Calvin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elios. So it is an edu speech from DTM Mike, yeah, from DTM Mike Nicholson from British Toastmaster Club.
Yes.
He is a very, very great speaker as well. And I think last but not least, I would like to call distinguished Toastmaster Yusuf Chandra, if you would like to announce something from your club, Maranatha Toastmaster Club.
Yes, we are having a meeting tomorrow for Babak, Bandung Bahasa Toastmaster. We will start at 1 o'clock until about 3 o'clock. And for Maranatha, we will do it on Wednesday, starting at 6:30 in the evening. So everybody is welcome to join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Chandra Yusuf, which is from Maranatha Toastmasters Club and also from Bandung Bahasa Toastmasters Club. And I think that's all of the visiting Toastmasters here. So I would like to close the meeting tonight with the sound of this mouse. That's the sound, and have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Curtis.
Kitty, for the
Thank
great
you,
session
everyone.
and sharing the PPT. Yay.
And now this is an open room for everybody to talk about anything, actually.
I told Dian to stay, actually. I told the guests to stay through chat. But
Hi.
hello.
Hi, Dian.
But I think it's only Dian who stayed.
Everyone.
Deggy's still here and Anselma, right?
Oh, wait. Toastmaster Galvin, we have visiting Toastmaster from Pediatrics here.
Oh, sorry. Toastmaster Nur Rahma, is
A
it?
new face in our club. So maybe Toastmaster Ama, you want to share about your club meeting?
Please.
She's
I
frozen.
never. Oh, okay. Yeah. I never came to her club actually because it's in like working hour. But maybe you can share, Toastmaster Ama.
And she's gone.
Oh.
Toastmaster Uyun?
Yes?
I'm actually also a member of Pediatric Crypto Toastmasters Club, so if she's gone, I can also share the agenda, yeah. So the meeting...
Oh, you have a double membership, yeah. Okay, great.
membership. So
Okay,
the
how is it?
meeting, Pediatric Crypto Toastmasters Club will be on Monday from 4 p.m. So follow the Instagram Pediatric Crypto Toastmasters Club. Everyone is...
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tem Sabrina.
Is Pediatric Toastmaster Club only open for FKUI students?
No.
I don't think
Or maybe only for doctors in Cipto?
No, if you can also join if you want.
Okay.
But
Sure.
mostly pediatricians.
Oh, nice to
Sorry, Garda, you were saying?
Yeah, no, I was talking to Toastmaster Sabrina. Send my regards to Toastmaster Sabrina.
Yes?
Could you please send my regards to Toastmaster Fini? By the
Oh,
meeting.
yeah, sure. From Toastmaster Garda.
Yes, thank you very much.
Dian, is this your first time in SCBD?
So yeah, actually this is my first time to join this Toastmaster meeting, but I've heard about Toastmaster since last year, but I haven't got chance to join. So I got a schedule to join in person like before pandemic, but I haven't got any time to jump in till now.
So how was your
yeah.
first meeting?
It's been a pleasure. I mean, like I learned a lot. Also, I think it's a perfect time because you have the edu speech as well.
Yes.
So it's been great. Thanks for hosting this event.
So you join us next week because we have table topics.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, sure. That'll be great. Thanks.
And where is Shauki Wira?
I don't know. I asked him, but he didn't answer yet.
The usual suspects.
Yeah. Hello, Kilo. Hello. What's your name? Siapa namanya? Charge.
Siapa?
Is it Andika Junior?
Name is Aidan.
Naija?
Aidan.
Oh, Aidan. Okay.
Aidan. He always follows my meeting.
So do you want to become
He's soon to be Toastmaster.
Yeah, Gavaliers.
Teacher Gavalier.
The youngest member then.
Well, Miss Almira. I saw Almira's photo earlier in WhatsApp. Is it earlier or yesterday? But then I was really shocked that you had it short.
Oh, kepo.
Yesterday.
Yeah, kepo.
Stalker detected.
No, of course you're sharing it, right? So it's not stalking.
By the way, I want to share something to you guys.
Share what?
So,
traktiran.
No, there's another thing.
Congratulations for your scholarship. That's very, very great.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, thank you.
We very happy your traktiran, your treat.
What's traktiran?
Treat.
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 Treat. Okay.
To treat.
We have a treat, and it will be paid by
big
Toastmaster.
meal.
Oh, nice.
With Vira.
What are you going to share, Toastmaster Almira?
Oh, yes. So since I'm volunteering on like a co-community, So we will be having a webinar on the next week. And wait, may I share my screen?
I have made you the co-host.
Okay, this one.
Living Festival.
So it's called the Green Living Festival. And yeah, I'm working on Project Planet Indonesia. And Project Planet is kind of eco platform where you can find a database about sustainable living, like when you are looking for a vegan restaurant or bulk store, or yeah, I've written that green and sustainable. We will launch that feature, and you can join our webinar. And yeah, when you join the webinar, you will get an opportunity to plant your trees and mangrove trees. Yeah, I think that's it.
We are the ones who will plant it, right? Or there are people who will plant it for us.
Yeah, there are people who will do for you because it's very far in East Java.
It's okay, just bring me there.
So you want a holiday too, yeah? It's a holiday package, planting trees, including the holidays.
Wow, great. Hmm.
Nice.
So anyway, how is your study for the master degree? What major is it?
Yeah.
Toastmaster Almira.
Oh yeah, it's management.
What kind of management?
Wow, management, yeah. Like a bit
finance.
different from your bachelor degree, right?
Yeah, it's very different.
PPM Management School is the best, one of the best management school in Jakarta. I know it.
Yeah.
After, the private university after what is it? Prasetya Mulia University. It is the best. The first.
Yes.
And the second, PPM Management School. Yeah, you are great, TM Almira.
Thank you for the appreciation.
To continue studying the one of the best management school in Jakarta or in Indonesia.
Are you focusing in finance or HR or in general, like an MBA or whatever?
It's finance and risk management.
Wow, how
Finance
long
and
is
risk
it?
management.
2 years?
Yeah, it's 2 years. School.
Wow.
Back to school again.
Full time or part time? What is it that?
Yeah, part-time.
Whether the time is
Full-time.
flexible or not. Full time,
No,
so you
yeah.
have to go there like 5 days a week, something like that.
Unfortunately, it's online, so.
Oh, I see.
Thank
Yeah.
God it's online.
Yeah, thank God it's online.
Wait, I heard you took different bachelor degree. What were you taking for bachelor's degree?
Can you guess what?
Chemical engineering.
Indonesian literature.
No, like
Oh my
chemical
God. That's so
something.
far.
Chemistry, yeah, chemistry.
Mathematics.
Engineering.
Edu.
Yeah. Chemistry is the correct one.
Wow.
Clear.
That's crazy, right?
Wow.
Well, that would be great.
And how come we should transpose from the chemistry into the management?
Okay, it's a hard question. Actually, I have no idea, but currently I'm working at a fintech as an investment. So yeah, the next study will be having things in common with my current career. So yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again.
Is it pure chemistry? As in BS chemistry like that? Or
Yeah. It's pure chemistry.
Wow.
we have a scientist.
Yeah.
Science major.
You're a science major also, Wira?
No.
You're marketing what? I don't
know. But I suck at math. Every time I look at a math equation, I start crying. All right.
But if it's about money, I think
Well, yeah, when it comes to money, I'm okay with that. But when it comes to taxations,
Yeah.
where to put something in a ledger, oh hell
So
no, I'm out.
what was your bachelor?
Digital marketing.
Same with
Digital marketing.
Shauki.
Yep.
How about your major, Melanie Rivera?
Huh?
Can you tell us?
I'm
Yeah,
education.
you.
I'm
You.
secondary education, major in math.
Oh, yeah, education. You are a teacher right now.
Yes, I am
Yeah,
a
best
teacher.
luck
As a
also
great
for
teacher
Toastmaster Melanie for
and great
finishing the.
speaker too, public speaker. You are the great one.
Toastmaster Galvin, anyway, Toastmaster Galvin, can you please give us insights as we are near recession, economic recession? So what's your insights?
Okay, recession. It's so macroeconomics, right? It is a macroeconomics whereby I am a micro economist. So I invest. I do not see the macroeconomics, but I do believe the one who can deliver a greater opinion rather than me is Toastmaster Mulyadin, because Toastmaster Mulyadin is working in DPR, right, in legislative.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so he knows
An
all
expert star.
he knows everything. So please tell us before the DPR announce it in the news, please.
Yeah, please fill in. Please.
Do you have a
Yeah.
friend in OJK? Do you have a friend in OJK?
Okay, yeah, there are many, what is it, rules or acts we need to stipulate in a legislative house for this next month or for several months. But yeah, that's why we have many jobs to do, and we get very big pressure from society to deal with what is it, violence, sexual violence act in legislative house. And also, you know about what is it, crime act or crime order. We have to change that rules. And also omnibus law. It is the very big burden, burden for us to discuss in office. Yeah, for the rules. And there are many problems we have to deal with, like coronavirus pandemic right now. We have to think how to manage government financial support for our society, and also how to give it's like what is it, financial support for our ventures, for our companies, national companies, and to give we don't really think about what is it, financial support or financial from outside of our country, but we think more focused on our financial problems in our inside of our country. That's the problems, very hard to think, and then that's why I'm very busy these 3 weeks. Until now, I still what is type anything to compile my what is uh, most of those are about financial or supporting system for our society, how to help them, how to help our society to survive in this pandemic condition. Yeah, that's our duty, our assignment to do with legislative members, collaborating with government, ministry, all ministries. Moreover, my my commission is a commission which has relation with social affair, yeah, with social affair ministry, DNPB, BNPB, to control or to